I said, what's going on? I didn't know if I wanted to jump into this or not, but with everything, uh, hope everybody is doing well. What's up, Tim? What's up, everybody? Um, I don't even know where this is gonna go, but this is, you know, appreciate it. What's up, bro? I don't know where this is gonna go when I discuss this. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but it's just something that since yesterday, really since the beginning of this week, because we're gonna go over multiple things um, that is just weighing on my heart heavy. Um, so if this makes anybody uncomfortable, I apologize. If you don't agree with anything I say, I don't apologize for that. You are free to unfollow, whatever the fuck. I don't care. Block me. I never really gave a fuck for that. And I will first off start this with rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace to those students in the Colorado shooting as of yesterday as well, because people are not discussing that as much as I would thought. Again, free Gaza and free Palestine. If anything of those, again, bothers you or anything like that, again, feel free to unfollow. I don't care. You know, I ain't big or anything of a streamer yet. I'm just a nigga on the internet who plays games and likes anime and Pokemon cards. So it's just, what the fuck worth does my word hold? But, it's still free as a content creator to have discussion. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to discussion as well for anybody who, wants to debate what I'm saying, has their own voice. I don't give a fuck. So within the big, news of everything, I want to discuss the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Because that's what it was. I don't care when anybody says what way you put it. That man was assassinated in broad daylight in front of his family, in front of his 2 kids and his wife, that now have to live and watch that and rewatch that forever because it is now on the internet and the internet is forever. At a school, yes, at a school. For anybody who, doesn't like to stay on the internet or whatever. MAGA Republican, right-wing debater / I guess you would say an influencer, because man has influence in a sense, was assassinated at a Utah university on September 10th. It was a straight-up assassination in broad daylight. From what I know, right, I'm not going to pretend like I was a long fan of the guy or anything, but I did do some research before I wanted to come on talk. He was nothing more, again, than a right-wing debater, Christian, hardcore Christian. He did not have... What's up, Shelly? He did not have, the best of takes. I will also say, again, for anybody on here, I'm not left-wing, I'm not right-wing. I don't really give a shit about politics in the first place because either side, in my opinion, are retarded, but, and I might get in trouble for even saying that. But, I do pay attention. I have friends on both sides, and I am able to have discussions on either side because that's what you can do as a human being. What the fuck you mean, tomato? Alright, I ain't dealing with that. But, he was an assassination. Again, if you don't like what I'm saying, y'all can get out of here. If you don't agree or like what I'm going to talk about, then again, all good. It's no. So, from again what I was saying, Christian, hardcore like right wing debater. Far as I know, he had no political power in a sense. Yes, was his organization heavily united with the Republican Party? Yes. But other than that, far as I know, he was not. He did not have any he had no actual political power to do anything of what he was, saying. He was just motherfucker who just spoke his mind, which is in my opinion, all good and dandy. I don't give a fuck what side you're on. You're open to an opinion. I don't care. Like, at the end of the day. And while at a, rally or at a debate that usually holds across the country to anybody, he holds a debate, and he holds the opportunity for people to come grab the mic and have debates with them, whether you agree with him or not, and have your piece. In the middle of that, again, he was shot in the neck, in the jugular. I'm also going to talk about that too. He was shot in the neck. To me, and anybody who has a trained eye, he's dead on sight. If anybody who else knows me, some in the chat, Tim, prior military, we're experienced with guns. That shot was from now when I'm seeing over 250 yards away, right? Over 250 yards away. I don't people understand how big that is of a distance. Had a clear shot, and to hit the artery that he did, that's a trained eye. Like, at the end of the day, that's a trained eye. You can't, like, that ain't no regular country hometown boy is hitting that shot from that far. For far as I know, the real shooter has not been caught. They have an old man in custody, which I knew that wasn't going to be. If you're like, that's a sniper shot. I don't think what the rifle he used was a sniper, because you could still hear it. But the way that the pictures was, heavy racist man, I thought something was going to happen to him for saying, hold on. Heavy racist man, I thought something was going to happen to him for what he was saying to people. Stuff is bound to happen. Have you seen that published of him, of his death? All right, we're going to get into that. I'm just going to still explain everything. Again, I don't agree also with everything that this man has said against, the algebra community, towards the children that has died in Gaza and, Palestine, to, women in general. I don't agree with, majority of his things that he said, but I also don't agree with a lot of stuff on the left that said either. So, to me, this is just, again, me expressing my opinion towards a lot of things that have happened. I'm not just going to talk about him tonight. But as a trained military, like I said, I've had my experience with gun. I know sharpshooters. I've trained with snipers as well. That was a trained shot. I don't know. That's why I said this was an assassination. That was a trained shot. He knew exactly where the right vantage point was. He knew how to hide himself. That was a trained shot. I don't know. That's why I said to me, because of the stuff he was doing. Right. Again, I don't agree with half the stuff he said either. I know a lot of people don't. I don't, what I'm saying? I'm not, to put my stance on it also as well, am I sad that this man has died? No. But I am also, am I sad that he died? No. To be honest, no. Like, for what he is saying, what the rhetoric he was spreading. But I am not a fan of how that man's life was taken away. Because at the end of the day, he was just a debater. He was a debater. He talked his shit or whatever. He spoke what his beliefs were. And you were just as open to disagree with it or not agree with it. To me, in my opinion, you have to be like Mustache Man, because I'm on Twitch and stuff. You have to be Mustache Man levels of evil, and we have certain people like that now, which again I'm going to discuss in a little bit too. Hopefully, I don't get taken down in any sense to get taken out like that. He did not even have the security. He didn't even need the security for what he does in that aspect, right? To be taken out like that. Again, in front of his children, his wife, which again, you can say, oh, fuck his wife, fuck his children too. Again, understandable, right? You don't have to like them. I'm not saying that, but those girls, in my opinion, the kids, if any more than anything, them girls are traumatized. You just watched your father get fucking killed. And I'm not on either side of soft. Like I said, I was in the military and I grew up in, really rough areas as well. I've seen literally kids get fucking killed like twice in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like, I seen my shit, and to that was still like crazy to watch after all the stuff I've seen, and probably half the internet has seen. That's still crazy to watch, right? Those girls gonna have to live through that for the rest of their lives, and it's sad. Yo, what up, everybody? What up? So those kids are traumatized. I don't care which way you put it. I don't care if you didn't like them. I don't care if you say, oh, fuck they kids, fuck the white. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You're going to see them. They're going to see them floating around for the rest of their lives. Someone's going to bring it up. Someone's going to, they're forever going to get seen at on the internet. Whatever the fuck, right? It's crazy. So, like I said, was I a fan of the man? No. Did I feel bad? Am I saddened that he's dead? No. But I am saddened of the way that his life was taken, because no one in that sense deserved that. I gotta be careful to chat sometimes. So that's for one thing. The reason I'm also bringing this in, what's going to tie in what I want to bring it together is, again, he was just a debater. Those who are in power of certain things, and I don't know if I could say certain names on here because of anything, and anybody knows I'm not a politic streamer, I'm not a politic person. I pay attention, but that's about it. But Supreme Court decisions earlier this week as well, that is what is scary. That is what's scary. Those who are unaware, the Supreme Court has passed a law to where for ICE to can take anybody, deport and take anybody of any color or whatever, don't matter, race, whatever the fuck, if you are basically, I don't even know if you could say basically if you're not white and Christian and English speaking, because they've taken, it's not just Hispanics. Now it is people as a, obviously me, Asian, anybody of any certain descent that is a foreigner that doesn't, that most likely would throw away as their first language is not English. And they're just now liable to just take them, which is sad. It's scary. It's sad because of also, it already just started off with that fucking woman talk in Georgia, calling on that Hyundai factory and getting, if you work at a car wash, you're brown skin, or you speak Spanish. Basically almost any minority now is just liable just to get the fuck up on out of here. Don't matter if you really are a citizen or not. They're just more liable to get you the fuck up on out of here. And that in its own sense is scary, because that is what, is now driving fear. I have had talks with people already, close friends of mine that are just, they have already given me the warning. Like, yo, if this is the last time I hear from you or talk to you or type of shit like that, like, I've had the I love you conversations and the preparations, and I hope a lot of people have made their preparations and to be safe out here. That shit is fucking insane, bro. Like, my abuela's first language is Spanish. This affects my in-law. That's what I'm saying. So this is what the real scary shit is, and what people are not also, like I said, you know what I'm saying, despite what you like about Charlie Kirk and who that and everything like that, that's fine. But this is what people need to be scared about, and I gotta be careful how I say this, but this is what action should be taken to those type of people, and hopefully that doesn't even get me taken down in a sense, right? So yes, it does affect everybody, and now in a sense, they don't care about, who you are, you know what I'm saying, you be living here, you be born here, all this shit, you know what I'm saying? Your grandparents or your parents or your distant family who have immigrated here and, went through the process and everything and found their ways to make themselves, like I said, I worry for my mother. And say my whole mother side is, straight immigrant and, found their way to become legal citizens in this country. And now they're all at risk. Stuff like this makes me scared for my future kids. I don't want their first language to be English. We have babies now who speak Spanish. And, to keep in tradition, that is a thing. You know what I'm saying? I try not to get much in politics, but shit is saying, I don't care what motherfucker says, ain't American, and I don't even fuck with America like that. Again, A lot of people would agree with you. I, in a sense, agree with you. Like I said, motherfuckers think I'm all gung ho because I'm a veteran and I see certain things, but you know what I'm saying. I am for the people. I am for human rights in general. You know what I'm saying. I believe we should have the right to speak our minds and be able to actually have a discussion and not get to a point. This is also this, like I said, this is gonna go all over the place, and like, when has it gotten to a point where we can't have discussions to a point where I don't care if you don't like what the other person is saying, what you say won't change their mind, in a sense. When has it gotten to a point to where we cannot have certain discussion about whatever it is, and then it gets to a point where, and I'm not just talking about the left side of whatever, like liberal and all that shit, because obviously MAGA is known for being violent too. Obviously, right? We're not going to forget January 6th. We're not going to forget about certain, hate crimes and shit caused by certain groups. Like, we're not. So for anybody who tries to throw that in there as well, throw me off with that as well. When has it gotten to the point where we cannot have certain intelligent discussion to where it can even end up to a point where we agree to disagree? People get too offended words nowadays, bro. They want to shoot or throw hands over words, which to me, I'm just like, if that's the point, then you should not be having discussions. People need to really go educate themselves and literally learn to fucking just have discussions, which is, again, something that, Mr. Kirk did. He gave the people opportunity to discuss. Now, like I said, did everybody obviously agree with him? Fuck no. Did I agree most of the time? Fuck no. Ebonics, these niggas soft. Yes, a lot of these motherfuckers are soft. But what now that this has unfolded even more now, because tensions were already high, if people weren't aware. Now, this is indeed causing, in fact, civil war. In my opinion, this will indeed cause the fact of civil war. You are now, one side is now showing the other side, you've just proven them right of their views about you and not trying to change anything. Yeah, but sadly, society is why it says something is going to happen. Oh, this is now going to trickle into fucking a crazy. Oh, it's both sides getting ready to radicalize, and it's sad. It's really sad that it has to get to this point where I'm like, these aren't who you discuss or have your views with. You know what I'm saying? They're not your real enemy, in a sense. And I'm not no conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but those who are making laws of what just happened earlier this week, right? Like I said, now people are in a state of living fear. You know what I'm saying? You cannot talk and speak your mind because now you are afraid of getting shot. You are not even allowed now to go outside, and you have to be careful, bro. I'm out here driving and shit. Motherfuckers, the cops is everywhere. I'm in the South, mind you. Motherfuckers, I have never seen so many motherfuckers get pulled over this week. It's crazy. Now, for whatever purpose they were getting pulled over, bro, and these events shows this country no longer give a fuck about freedom. They don't. Everything's been a big control fest and about, money in a sense, right? It's a lot bigger picture than that. But I still also always say this is like, there's always room for any type of discussion, but there has to be a refocus of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get all political and be like, oh, go vote. In my opinion, your vote fucking doesn't matter. In my opinion, fucking I didn't vote because I knew it didn't fucking matter. To be honest with you. Like, if we would have got Kamala, would have been a little bit better, maybe. But she wasn't the best candidate in my eyes either, right? And I'm not going to just go vote for Trump in spite of that, because now we see the consequences of that. It doesn't change shit. It doesn't. So, in that case, it's just like, I don't know, to me, and it's like, with everything going on, celebrating this man's death is, to me, like, to me, it's still weird behavior. I don't care if you like them, dislike them, whatever the fuck, right? What your side you stand on. That is not a way for a man of like for what he did to go out. God, people talk about shit, but from their couches. Oh, of course. And that's also the crazy part. This nigga literally died just doing what a bunch of niggas on TikTok do. The only thing is he just, you know, had the balls to just go up to people's faces and give them the opportunity to talk back. That was it. As far as I know, he didn't have no violent outlash or anything like that. There's certain fucking commentators who people don't talk about who are way worse. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to name anybody on here and shit like that. I don't give a fuck for internet drama. Again, I'm just a nigga on the internet who plays games and likes anime and Pokemon cards talking his shit. But Unc been through some shit. And Unc seen a lot of shit unfold. And this is not the way it needs to go, in my opinion. It's really sad that this is what it's turned out to be and what it's turning to be. And I don't think people are getting the right picture of what really is going on. Like, again, I'm gonna say it again for a third time. Just a black nerd online. Goddamn right, that's it, bro. I'm just a black nerd online with a fucking puppy that is laying spread out across my fucking living room. So I'm not gonna pick him up for y'all. But I've learned to, you know, at least in my celebrating niggas, that's so crazy to me. Like, what the fuck? All you did was have an opinion. Now, did I respect it? No, but that's fucking crazy. That's what I'm saying. He had no, like I said, in my opinion, I'm gonna reiterate again. He had no political power, in a sense. He had influence. I will say that, and that has its own power in its own. But he had no power to change laws. He had no power to, you know, do anything to actually anybody. He just expressed how he felt, and if you didn't fucking agree with him, he's like, all right, well then, you know, in a sense, fuck you. And if you can't debate me, whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's it. That's it. Nowhere in that man's repertoire was that assassination. Because again, at the end, I don't give a fuck what anybody say. That's an assassination. Nobody deserved that. He, in that sense, did not need to go out like that. Like, I don't know. Like I said, see people taking it wrong when I said I knew it was coming, but that's not me celebrating. No. I wasn't taking it as you celebrating his death. Because like I said, you didn't like him, so you probably didn't give a fuck if he died or not. And that's okay too. Like I said. But there are people on here who are jumping for joy, making fucking jokes. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a nigga that they didn't like what he said. That was it. But could not, you know, and like I said, the man opened it online too. Online and in person to go have debates with him. And a lot of these motherfuckers on TikTok who are celebrating and shit like that probably couldn't have a whole fucking debate with him. If you want me to be honest, because I watched a couple of the debates. One thing I know, that nigga could talk some shit. He could talk, he fight his point. Was it right? Whatever? No. But that nigga could debate. I will give him that. That nigga could debate. And do I think this is something covering up something way bigger? Oh, of course. For anybody also thinking that, oh, this is just the main focus. No. Because they cover your force. Shut up. But I don't know. Shit getting real spooky out here, folks. Shit getting real spooky. And I want all of y'all to legit be fucking, you know, I want y'all to be safe. Because now it's anybody's game. It's not a particular group anymore. And they're not playing fair. You know what I'm saying? I guess. I'm gonna hurt you. It's just, God damn it. See, this is why I can't have people here. I'll be throwing me off and shit. But in all seriousness, just because of what I saw earlier today, like I said, I've seen people and I had people call me and tell me like, oh, like on the highway, there's people running for their lives as they getting chased from the cops because they're scared of getting deported. Like I'm smiling as I'm saying it, but it's just like to me, I'm like, this is crazy that I'm hearing this and I'm seeing these videos online. That's just here. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Florida for anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, imagine where, you know, it's really, you know what I'm saying, out here like that. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying, really Rostas out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And I don't even know how it is up north right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all up north will probably tell me how crazy it's been getting. And I don't know. All I know is that I just want people to be safe. I don't even know what the fucking, like, right thing to do or what to strive for is. In my opinion, it's just to strive. My personal goal every day is just to be a better person every day and show people. Getting stopped for walking while black seems a lot more real right now. It is. And it's going to sound crazy when I say this. It's going to be now more getting stopped for walking while being colored in any sense of the word. Right? And hopefully, again, I don't get taken down for that. But I was just talking to Q about someone dying on the same train as me. Oh, shoot. Also, yeah. Let's be to that woman who was stabbed by that Ukrainian man on the train. Everybody on that fucking train was a bitch that let that woman die. I was about to say, yeah, everybody who on the trip on that fucking, I'm not saying everybody gotta be a hero and shit, but come on, dog. Like, that was crazy too. I just heard about that shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, there's also a reason I can't go on Twitter no more, or X, whatever the fuck. Everybody on that train was a bitch, bro. You let that motherfucker stab her and fucking die? Like, that's crazy. Ain't one person. And like I said, I'm not saying everybody gotta be a hero or some shit. Obviously, you don't want to get cut up too. But nigga, what the fuck? That's where we at now? Like, that's crazy. That's why I also said women need to start carrying protection on them in every sense of the word. I don't care. Like, I know I'm gonna go into a whole different tangent of that. Like, I always tell, you know, women in my life or whatever, and most of the women in my life, to carry something. It don't have to necessarily be a pew pew. Philly man would have jumped at me. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. But overall, if you're celebrating this man's death, like celebrating the other people who are like jumping for joy, making TikToks and shit, people are trying to kidnap me. He said 6'8". Yeah, you got some stories. It's dangerous. It's crazy. But if you celebrating this man's death, you know what I'm saying? Like there are people on TikTok jumping for joy, you know, like, oh, like scoreboard. Anybody who knows where that comes from. If anybody, you ever celebrating that death, to me, you're weird. I don't care, left, right side, whatever the fuck. In that sense, you don't celebrate a person like that dying because you didn't like what they said. And I'm not saying anybody here to say, oh, to feel bad for them or any sense of the word. I'm just a nigga on it. That's what I'm saying. I'm just a nigga on the internet, bro. I ain't got no, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing the content shit, but, you know, I ain't shit yet. You know, shout out Spoken Reasons. Anybody who got that. But, it's crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? I don't condone any of the shit that's going on. And for someone also, I got in a discussion with a friend, and because I can do that with multiple, you know, I can do that with people. You can have discussions with people whether you agree with shit or not. But how you carry out at the end of the day, I'm like, nigga, I got love for everybody. You don't like what I say, I don't like what you say. All right, nigga, when you get on the game. Ooh, what? Wait, what the fuck? Sex, violence, love, heartbreak, Who wouldn't want to buy it? That's what I'm saying, bro. All you gotta do is just add character names to it. I'm sorry. But, fuck. Fuck. Just, this shit, boy. This is not the shit that we fucking, this is not what we grew up as, bro. I remember my hardest shit, that I had to establish was Crazy Enough. I'm filming this on 9/11. So, 9/11 we never forget. I'm not saying that in a funny way. I'm not saying, God, because someone's going to take that bad. I'm not saying that in a funny way, you know what I'm saying? Tragic moment, everything. I remember where exactly where I was when 9/11 happened too. I was in like second grade and shit. I was in second grade. I remember it all happened. They put it on the TV. My teacher was crying at the time. Everybody had to get, escorted out, evacuation to school. Breathe in it. Bask in it. Oh my God. I ain't gonna hold. Damn. See, that's how. Also, the internet is way too desensitized nowadays too, and even from my aspect, because I definitely just when he said that, the whole Charlie thing, I was like, damn, what did that nigga do to make them niggas that mad? Stupid. Oh God. I'm fighting for my place upstairs every day. The internet, fuck that. There's worse niggas on the internet. There's worse niggas on the internet than me. I have a whole group chat where I tell them every day, I'm like, nobody's here making it to heaven. But, y'all are funny. Yeah. I don't know. I want everybody to be safe. Oh yeah, fuck the discussion I was having with my friend. Cause like I said, you can have discussions with friends if you don't agree with everything. You know what I'm saying? Cause he asked me, he's like, do you believe the world peace or everything will be ever a thing? I said, no, it is not a realistic concept at all. He said, why? He said, you don't think like with the right person, the right leader and all that shit? I'm just trying to drink and make money. You know what I'm saying? I was like, no. Within the human concept and like the mind, just how the mind works, the simple concept of just having conflicting ideas will never make anything peaceful. Like, there will be never a time where everybody all agrees on the same things. Not every single person will agree on the same things without any type of like brainwashing or some shit, right? Like, it's not possible. And that aspect is not possible. You know what I'm saying? And if it was, I ain't gonna hold you, it's some brain, like, infinite Tsukuyomi type shit. We would have to be a hive mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's never possible. Like, nigga, as long as the idea of, nigga, I like apples and you hate fucking apples, you know what I'm saying? Or you like oranges and I hate fucking oranges exists in that aspect or some shit. I like something that you don't like, nigga, it'll never be peace. True peace that motherfuckers would ask for. You know what I'm saying? It will never be that. And, people, but that's also what makes, human interaction like interesting. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed to have conflicting ideas. You're allowed to, see things from a different perspective or have different perspectives and learn different perspectives from other people. That's what I love doing every day. Like, as I grew up, that's how I learned to have so many different type of friends from all different walks of life. Like, I have fucking redneck friends from West Virginia. I have, as long as apple juice and orange juice exist, we can't maintain. Exactly. That's a fucking bar right there. Nigga, I'm putting that in my notes. I'm putting that in my notes, real shit. Or whatever Gandhi said. You know what I'm saying? I like when, what the fuck? And you got me, the neighborhood crack bunny. The neighborhood crack bunny is something I never want you to just to define yourself ever to fuck again. Okay? It just supports you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have friends from all over that carry different ideals and shit like that. And to me, I'm like, it's better if you just listen. You know what I'm saying? Do I have to agree with everything? No. But I won't call you a fucking, you know, whatever your racist slur dickhead, you know, to you. You know what I'm saying? If you know, we don't see the same shit, I'm just like, oh, like, all right. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'll show you. Hope Thailand love you. You know what I'm saying? Borderlands. Here comes these niggas. We still got less than 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? We got less than 2 hours.